Dramatic end to that video. Welcome to the caster desk for Mad Lions versus EXCEL. A game what I have no expectations for because it's, what do we think about the Mad Lions? We had them on Euphoria this week, Caedrel. We asked them, what can we expect? They went, yeah, I don't know.
We lost 5 games.
We lost 5 games, but we're pretty good.
Yeah. And EXCEL finished top 3.
Yeah.
So I have no idea who's going to show up because EXCEL's regular season was good.
Sure.
It looks like they're on a huge bounce back. When will that momentum end, or will it keep going? And then Mad Lions, are they going to bounce back from their losses, right? There's so many which one of these teams is good?
Yeah.
You know, one's on a high, one's on a low, but one was on a huge high and one was on a huge low.
Absolutely. And I think there's so much pressure on the EXCEL side, so we'll hope that their development is continued. But I imagine they're going to face a stronger version of Mad than they did when they played in Best of 1. Mad was pretty early on, EXCEL was pretty early on in Mad's loss streak.
Yeah.
Midway through EXCEL's win streak. We'll see how much of that carries over as we get ready for picks and bans. Our first game on 13-13. Woo! And here we are, a thrilling draft time. What will happen in the draft? Vi banned away despite being nerfed on this patch, despite being slightly less popular, still getting the attention. Maokai getting banned. Uh-oh. Is the meta exactly the same?
Sometimes, you know, you're playing on 3 weeks of regular season patch. You're like, you know what, we've got it all locked down, we figured it out. EXCEL finally find the meta, Mad Lions lost it. You go on to the next patch, it's like, well, we could change it up, but we could also just stick to what we're playing, just slightly weaker.
Ivern's kind of like Yuumi, it's just tree Yuumi.
Sorry, hold on a second. Can you say that again?
I said Ivern's kind of like Yuumi, it's tree Yuumi.
Ivern's tree Yuumi?
I mean, it powers 80 carries, and I hate playing against it and wish I never had to see it in pro.
What kind of tree cat friend of the forest things have you been seeing?
All right, man. I'm just presence-wise, feeling. It's the feeling in my stomach.
Cats climb trees.
True.
Yeah.
Look, it's a deep connection. It's a deep cut. The knowers out there will get it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, LeBlanc, Tristana, of course, a premier mid laner as well as flex pick in the meta right now. LeBlanc still annoying. Static Shiv hit pretty hard with the nerf bat, but still obnoxious. Still very much buildable, as we saw in the LCK games earlier today.
Yeah, I think you're looking at Kai'Sa now, really, aren't you? Is that going to get taken away? What's the ban here for Mad Lions? There's 3 junglers down. They're going to ban Renekton. I feel like Kai'Sa is quite high prio.
And the question for me also is EXCEL, can they still play scaling? We saw some slight adjustments in terms of direction and style of team composition from EXCEL towards the later half of their win streak, but mostly it was scale, teamfight. And Kai'Sa, while she is a good late game threat, is not a traditional front-to-back option.
I wonder if Carzzy's going to bust out some kind of Draven to counter this. Normally you can go something like Draven into the Kai'Sa to win lane. Vayne is a good pick into the Kai'Sa if the comp allows for it. Xayah Rakan is always really, really powerful on this patch as well. So Annie's up too, which could be an option depending on which direction these teams want to go. But it's going to be Jayce 1-2 for Mad Lions. They must have some kind of AP jungler or Rumble ready somewhere. Jayce Rakan would make sense to get Xayah on 3, but they're going to need ability power from some part of the map. Kai'Sa Rell, really powerful engage.
Certainly, with Rakan taken away, you just can lock in that Rell now. You need to do it in 2-3 or it will get banned away.
Yeah, I think if I'm Mad Lions right now, I'm thinking about Malphite actually. Not picked on the 1-2-3, but in the 4-5 especially. Kai'Sa, Rell, Malphite into this Jayce, depending on where it goes. We'll see. Could be a bit scary. Nautilus jungle, Rell jungle, you know, both of them viable in the sense, but
it's kind of a fake. It's kind of a fake flex pick though, because both of your options are essentially exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like, does anyone really care if it's a Rell or a Nautilus in the jungle? Like, no.
No. It's
or
just
bot
both
lane,
of them are
it's
supports,
the same thing.
and they're tanks. They're just walking health bars with CC.
All right, but
there's Odo Rumble.
And I remember in previous splits, when Rumble was expected to get really popular, we talked to Odo, and he was quite sad that he wasn't able to play in Best of 3 when Rumble was on the rise. Rumble, of course, receiving some changes, stronger against tanks now on the new patch, but maybe a little bit weaker against that squishy backline with the power of the Equalizer. So see what Odoamne can do here, potentially against the Jayce, but no surprise to see the Xayah paired alongside the Rakan as we go to the second ban phase.
I'm not so sure about Rumble mid. I mean, it used to be good with things like Predator, but of course, TLDR of the Rumble changes. A lot of his abilities now have % health damage, whether it's on his Q or on his shield, basically.
It's % health scaling.
Scaling, rather. So it's not really as viable if the base damage is lower against squishy lane champs in general.
Yeah.
So Azir taken away, they think the Rumble's going top 2. And I think the beauty of the EXCEL comp right now is very hard engage, very one-dimensional in that sense, but the Rell flex is quite nice to have, isn't it? You know, Mad Lions' best bet here is just to ban away mid laners, because they could still go Nautilus on 4-5 here, but then EXCEL will need some kind of AD mid, so I wonder what Abbedagge is cooking there. With Renekton down, Jayce taken away, Tristana gone, he needs some AD mid. Yone could work as well, but Yone I feel like is a really hard champ to pull off, but a lot of teams have been picking it up more recently, and I think with that Rek'Sai ban, they should look to take away Sejuani as well.
Limit those potential options. Might be hurting a little bit for AD here if we end up with a Kai'Sa, a Rumble, and another AP champion as well. But what are Mad Lions going to focus on? Azir makes a ton of sense. Again, if you missed the regular season, there was a lot of Abbedagge, Azir, a lot of games won in the late game, courtesy of that champion. Instead, the Nautilus, EXCEL, they hovered it, and I don't know if they were taunting us with it or if it really is, you know, a flex pick for them to put this Rell into the jungle. But either way, Mad Lions took the bait, will ban it away.
Could also still be Kai'Sa mid, you know, and then they just pick like Draven or something, but I highly doubt that. It's probably Kai'Sa bot. I think that's just the annoying thing about EXCEL comp. You're never quite sure.
But I will say I like that. I like, if that is something that they're willing to do, I like the flexibility in draft because, you know, for a while there, it was a lot of front to back. It was pretty much the best version is tank topside, et cetera, et cetera. And so now we are seeing a new look from EXCEL. Whether or not it'll work is another question.
So here's the 4 pick for Mad Lions. Probably a jungler to keep the Jayce flex alive, you have to imagine. Unless there's something they want to deny. As they pick Ornn into Rumble.
Okay, here we are.
Tank into Rumble.
There it is.
Yeah, so
that's wacky.
It is. They're last picking jungle. I wonder if he's last picking something like Lee Sin here. Or they've got something prepared, I wonder. Because there's a lot of jungle bans, and they need some more ability power damage, but I'm not sure what AP champ they can look for. Poppy would be a mega pick here for EXCEL against Rakan.
Yeah, but, I mean, Poppy in general is just so popular right now in the current meta.
Oh, Lee Sin.
This?
It's buffed.
It is. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's because I mean we've been talking to pro junglers, we were talking behind the scenes a little bit to Elyoya, and I mean it's still a tough champion to pull off. Poppy feels like a much easier option against so many dashes because of that Ahri, that Lee Sin. Everybody except for Rumble is about to get ruined by a single ability.
Well, you should have taken the Poppy. That's gonna be horrible, isn't it? Lee Sin Ahri against Poppy. Not a big fan of that, but Lee Sin got buffed on the patch. Ahri's been hovering around for God knows how long with so many different builds, so probably Abbedagge's safe option in this regard, but not a lot of AD damage from EXCEL, mostly coming from that Lee Sin. We'll see what Patrik builds, expecting AP, but a lot of engage, a lot of dashing forwards, a lot of diving onto Mad Lions, and I think Mad Lions have a really good comp at stopping them from diving. Xayah, Rakan is great at self-beating together.
Yep.
Poppy's good at stopping the engage, Ornn can play frontline. The only vulnerability I think on the Mad Lions comp is the Jayce. He'll be almost like a poke champion, but he's definitely really vulnerable to hard engage, so he's gonna have to be very careful here, Nisqy. Mad Lions, good scaling, good poke. Good damage share overall in general, because EXCEL can't really stack that armor. But yeah, EXCEL mid-game heavy. Lee Sin, Ahri, Rumble, that's a lot of skirmish heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the pick potential is real, the skirmish potential is real, the ability to reposition with the Kai'Sa ultimate is definitely going to come in handy, but execution going to be big here. Very different from games we've seen previously. The last time these two teams played, you know, very back and forth, went super, super late into the game, and the scaling for EXCEL did them a ton of favors in that game. They're going to need to play a much faster game than the last time we saw both these teams go head-to-head.
They definitely need to put their foot on the gas from the get-go. Level 6 galore on that Lee Sin with his solo lanes on the top side. Bot lane will be relatively quiet, I imagine, depending on where both junglers path, but first best of 3 of the LEC. EXCEL versus Mad Lions. It's going to be an exciting one. New patch, a lot to play for, and we're ready to get into it. EXCEL versus Mad Lions.
Okay. Woo!
100-0.
Woo!
What's going on there?
Woo!
Looks like EXCEL paused. Peach has some issues.
New patch!
It's like a bug already or something. I can't get out of the base. How exciting. Wow, we ramped up all of that talk and discussion, and then it's like...
Game pause! Yeah, this is not the emotional curve that I needed. I was getting ramped. Ooh, Fnatic fans, they know that's their cue.
Fnatic pause buff hack.
That's strong branding.
I feel like, you know, Twitch chatters these days, there's so many copy-pastes. You know, like the Fnatic point pause hack.
Do you think it's intimidating to join Twitch chat because there's so many inside jokes you just don't understand?
No, I'm just convinced they've all got them on like a sticky notes on their second screen, and when something happens, copy paste, boom, instant.
Do you think there's one guy like named Ryan who just has them all, and it's 100%. Just it's like his sacred duty to log into Twitch chat first every day and start all the copy passes? Because I don't have any of them saved, even if I contribute. But someone out there has to have them all saved.
Yeah, there's one like with loads of little lines that forms like a little emoji kind of thing. I can't remember what it was
ASCII?
for. But
is it ASCII
yeah,
art?
It's like an ASCII art kind of thing, and people just spam all of that stuff. So
which one were you thinking of in specifically?
Oh, wow, good timing.
Wow, we're back in the game.
Now we're here.
35 seconds.
Saved by the bell.
That's a nice. I like that. Elderwood Ahri. Lollipoppy, a thing directly from my nightmares.
Bro, I was listening to the LEC Kai'Sa. Was it Atlas and Chronicler, I think, talking about it? The old Lollipoppy skin.
Horrifying. The splash art for that is horrifying.
It is horrifying, but yeah, if you're
nightmare fuel,
you would never really be able to see the actual original splash art for it.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Odoamne busting out the Rumble. This is one of the bigger, more exciting picks, I think, in this draft overall. The bot lane meta does remain pretty interesting. A lot of changes we talked about before Odoamne. This is his second most picked champion, 63% win rate. This is a historic option for him. That said, it's almost a completely different champion than when he first started playing it, but overall still the same kind of shoot the flames at him, walk at him.
Yeah, drop the equalizer.
Yeah.
Miss the equalizer open. Classic.
Just the Odoamne special. Knock back there, through on the mounted up Rell, bit of damage. Down onto Hylissang as he's forced back here. Those early resistances for Limit just make this trades quite difficult.
Yeah, Hail of Blades for Patrik, so it's quick trades for him. He just wants to get out against that lethal tempo. Extend trade not the best, and you'll see Limit dismount on the horse, so when he W's again, he can remount for the flip.
And the flip, of course, once you start that auto animation, you're getting the CC off, whereas, you know, the dive in, the crash down, much easier to dodge, much easier to get away from, especially for a champion like Hylissang, or for Rakan for Hylissang, who's quite mobile. But the fight for level 2, the quiet battle as the pullback comes through, a bit of extra slow coming down. Carzzy continuing to step up. Ignite has been utilized.
Yeah, Hilly doesn't have access to that W. He has the Q, so the sustain will be in Mad Lions' favor. Lane is going in their favor. No potions on both supports, but obviously Limit's the one falling short. Level 2 will come through. Mad Lions still a little bit away from it. And when they get that level up, they'll look to trade really hard. Both junglers pathing bot, though, as expected. I think bot lane is just the lane you always want to play around. Odoamne will be farming for a little while.
Hylissang just continuing to get aggressive there. Takes a lot of damage back in that poke. Isolated to Cathine Rain. Still hurting, even this early on in the game.
Yeah.
But Caedrel, if we can, I want to take a brief moment to talk about the top side of the map. Not just because Odoamne is playing Rumble, and Chasy just totally whiffed that knockup.
Oh, he did.
But because our boy Chasy, bit of a feast or famine player. Wins and losses this year telling two very different stories. Wins, look at that KDA, look at that kill participation. Insane. Losses, look at those isolated deaths.
Yeah, when the game's not going in Mad Lions' favor, Chasy kind of plays zone game and gets lost a lot of the time. You can see that in his last 5 games, which was those 5 losses, not really being able to impact the map whatsoever. So he's on tank duty for this game. Maybe that solves some of the problems. But when they're winning and he's actually active in the game, it feels like he's a completely different player. Doesn't get caught out as much.
Yeah, and he's a player that continues to surprise us, I think, both positively and negatively. We saw it in their Mad Lions run in spring, where he wasn't really on our radar. We talked so much about Photon, but then he kind of came out swinging in the best of 5s, Hylissang. Pull back, nice route from Carzzy. Good trade as Limit gets lower and lower here.
It's a bit annoying for Mad Lions though, because EXCEL have heal advantage, so that would have been an easy commit if Patrik was running cleanse, but the heal disadvantage means they turn the fight and they'd lose. Both junglers kind of full clear at the moment. Elyoya needs to finish his wolves, snuck away that crab just under Peach's nose as he was finishing his clear. Base coming out from the Limit. Raptor respawn is available for Peach if he knows that Elyoya started there, but he's going to cover it. So he's just going to trade off the crabs.
Respect EXCEL for trying to keep some pressure on the bottom side of the map. Top and mid.
They're top dive coming.
So much in their favor right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're
diving Chasy. This feels incredibly, incredibly risky, but you should at least be able to crash the wave.
So I thought Elyoya would defend his top camps, but he's actually realized maybe if the Rumble comes down, I'll lose him. Let's try a bot gank. Patrik.
On his lonesome.
Waves coming into him.
Flash and heal.
Yeah. This should be, I think this is more of a cover actually rather than a gank, unless Hylissang is just calling to get their flashes here.
I mean, there's 0 vision right now. Ooh, knock up. Hylissang ignited, walking away here. Patrik, no mana, crash down and take him out to safety. No real play to be had as Nisqy gets aggressive on Abbedagge. That charm hitting is big. Lee Sin waiting over the wall. Nisqy, does he not know where Peach is? Peach now coming in. One sonic wave, the flash out to safety. And that's awkward. You initiate that trade, you end up losing your flash. That is lackluster.
Yeah, I think the thing is with Jayce is when you queue in, if you don't have phase rush and actually proc it on your hammer form Q, you're always going to get charmed because it's obviously a one direction skill shot. So the charm lands, he stayed there a little bit too long, ends up losing his flash. Of course, enemy jungle will be topside, but it's hard to know. You know, Peach side did start topside and full clear towards bot. Didn't base though, was taking Elyoya's Raptors.
Yeah.
So good early game for EXCEL so far.
Yeah, I mean, the diligence and vision control right now has been solid. Chasy going for a bit of a solo bolo here, at least trying to get some damage down, get Odoamne out of the lane. That said, he's out of mana. Yep. Odoamne is about to equalize the lane, and Chasy now down to flash.
Odo, a lot of restraint there. It was all on that melee creep. If he leveled up, he could turn and get his flash. If he didn't level up, well, see you later, Chasy. So I think Chasy just wants to get the wave in there and then base and TP. So solo lanes of Mad Lions slowly falling behind here. Ooh. Everyone's even in gold except Odoamne.
500 gold ahead, a Giga Chad. It is his most played, 62% win rate. Again, the stats don't lie. They do not always tell people the things that I'm saying that they do. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's...
So if he's 500 gold up, they should win the game, right? That's how it works.
That's statistically, that's just
how the numbers work.
Yeah, of course. That's how stats work, I'm sure.
Bot gank.
Okay, Peach.
No bot.
Good setup. Hylissang just wants to use that Gleaming Quill. Heal up. Knock up. Stops the crash down.
I love how excited you are for any
Dude, it's been a week. We've had a break week.
Like,
I'm fiending.
You're fiending for
There are two things I'm addicted to, and it's action in League of Legends and caffeine. Both very serious. I was going through withdrawals last week. I was casting bronze games, just fiending for a fix. I need them to fight, dude.
Just imagine you on your desk with like
I'm like
60.
watching your stream, casting you, play horrible 2v2s on PBE at 120 ping, man. I need
just
it.
10 empty cup of coffees all around your desk, like haven't showered in a week.
Fiending.
He queued the Drake there, Peach, but he missed, but I think he thinks they're on it, so Patrik's in trouble.
Patrik definitely in trouble. Nice stun. 2-man from Limit now coming in. Patrik gonna be in trouble here. Should just get taken down, trying to get the kill over to Carzzy, taking his time. First blood! Hits him with the sad Zoe, but Hilly taking the kill.
I would love to get a replay of Peach there, because he actually got Patrik killed. He missed his Q on the Dragon, and then his bot lane thought they were on Drake because he spam pinged it. So Patrik ran up the river and just got 3-man ganked when they thought they weren't there. So that's kind of sad for Patrik. Didn't have the level 6 to be able to dodge out from that play. So yeah, jungle.
We'll take a look back at the replay. You can give us your attorney impression.
So watch this. I hope we can see it. So Peach walks up to Drake. He actually fails his Q. It's not in range, just a little bit too short. But now you look at the minimap. He's spam pinging Dragon. So Patrik's like, oh yeah, let's fight Drake. Wait, hang on a second. What? I thought they were on Dragon. So yeah, saves the flash.
Your Honor, Patrik is not guilty.
He's not guilty.
It is in fact Peach. Peach.
It's him. Get him in cuffs. Jungle cap. No, that's unlucky, isn't it? So yeah, Patrik ends up falling. They don't lose the Dragon for it. It's just the first blood, and Hilly's the one that picks it up. Patrik saves the flash, so it's not the end of the world. It's actually not that big of a deal. They can crash bot waves. Bot lane AD is even still. Just affects how much you're ruining that bot side, mainly for limit. You can see now he's down 500. Sad Rell.
Very sad Rell. Don't think it's going to matter too much, though. Hylissang gets some Merc Treads, which will help in the engages to come. But for now, no major objectives taken across the map. Herald is up and available. Peach is going to look to take the first one of the game. Will be uncontested. So for now, while the gold is still within touching distance, it does feel mostly like EXCEL's game. They've got pushed pretty consistently on the top side of the map, pushed in the mid lane, bot lane, mostly trading even outside of that last play. So overall, solid early game thus far from EXCEL. Level 6, maybe we start to see more action.
Yeah, Herald picked up. Odoamne will keep winning in isolation. And as much as Ornn into Rumble, it's like, you're going to get pushed in. You have good setup for a gank, but Elyoya really doesn't want to spend his time up there. You don't want to leave his bot lane vulnerable, especially when the enemy jungler has Herald. So he's going to start up an easy Dragon. Yeah, because Peach was on that top side, but he's based. He's come out towards the bot side. Now they know they're on Dragon,
here we
so
go.
Maybe the play looks
might not be able to get the Dragon, but they probably can get the fight. Hylissang, Charm not quite going to connect, just barely able to make it out. Merc Treads, baby. Doing work on that one with the tenacity. Peach looking for the steal. Elyoya waiting to burn it down. Does get it. Root now back on the limit. Limit caught out. Quick pick to start things off. And Abbedagge wants to keep things going. Peach looking for the kick. And Elyoya going to try to stop. Nice knockback coming in to disengage with the rest of the team. Peach following up. Waiting on the Sonic Wave cooldown. Abbedagge has to fish for the charm. Peach, the potential here for the play. Kicks into the wall. The feathers fly, but he still finds one. He wants one more. Carzzy flash back. Second flash in. The triple, baby!
Peach popping off here on the Lee Sin. 3 kills now. Managing to pick them up all off the back of that Dragon fight. I was wondering, waiting for him to jump forwards with that kick. Manages to get both the bot laners of Mad Lions. What a huge play from the EXCEL jungler who came in to save the day with 2 10th place finishes with him on the roster top 3. And now a great early game start in their first best of 3.
I mean, it's always hard to say how much one player does. Abbedagge coming in as well, but you can see the differences for EXCEL. 10th into 3rd, now a triple kill to start things off. It feels poetic. And their path to Worlds, path to season finals is a tough one. But if they can start it off with winning a series here, they are that much closer.
So we'll see this again, because Limit actually gets caught off by a nice pullback by Carzzy. You'll see the Q comes out, waiting. He's going to auto-E in just a second as he walks up. And then the root comes through. And when that happens, Hilly can follow up. Flash E from Elyoya, instantly dead. But no Flash E and no knock-up from Rakan means they have nothing to defend themselves with. So EXCEL say, let's just go forwards. The Jayce can't really stop us. There's no real CC coming out. And here I was waiting. Is he going to kick Flash the Rakan into the Xayah, try to do some crazy knockups? But no, just Flash kicks.
He definitely looks for the angle.
Yeah,
Xayah definitely ults.
Yeah, Carzzy's ult was great there, wasn't it?
Still has a flash. Bop, bop.
Yeah, clean.
That's
really
all she
clean
wrote.
by Peach. Nice ult by Carzzy to dodge the knockup from the kick, but still. Peach, total gold now. Full.
Bam.
First, rather.
1.3k individual lead on Hylissang this early in the game. That feels good. Plus the Rumble advantage on the top side. Things are looking incredible for EXCEL thus far. And again, for a team that has mostly spent their season scaling, fighting and taking skirmishes like that is nice character development. Something I was waiting to see.
It's also a massive confidence boost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having a lead like that. It's been a while since they've been in a best of 3, so making sure they can maintain that lead and run away with it. They still have the Herald. I wonder if he's going to pop it mid Peach, because he's hovering behind Nisqy. Could ward jump kick, but Limit.
Flash in, stun, doesn't even need to ward. Oh, he does ward jump anyway, might as well. Peach on a rampage.
Yeah.
4-0-0, just keep funneling that lease in, and meanwhile, Madline's desperate to get something back on the bottom side.
EXCEL, good early game. Transitioning this to mid game should be pretty easy with the map state that they have, with bot lane being able to be fine in isolation for Patrik and being able to play jungle support top to cover Odoamne.
Oh, Chasy's gonna be in trouble here. Just trying to delete the wave, I guess, but Limit now going in, forced to flash out to safety, not able to recast the R. Peach now coming up as well. There's no safe place for Chasy to go. Go under the tower and die, get out from under the tower and die. Either way, that's one dead Ornn. 5 kills for Peach.
Oh my god, he's 2.1k gold up, 2.2k gold up on the enemy Poppy. And we were a bit worried in draft because, you know, Poppy, Ornn, Rakan, Xayah, quite hard for Hylissang to get involved in fights, but with these early kills, he's off to the race, isn't he? 5 kills. Just a case of making sure that he doesn't lose that lead. Yeah. Massive shutdown onto Carzzy. This game could look a whole lot different. A lot of gold onto one member. As much as your team being ahead is good, the lead is that one player.
Yeah. And overall for Peach, you know, Hylissang is most played, 58%. I'm quoting win rates today. That's what you're getting. Oh, we're just combining positive win rates. Okay. That's how I'm building team comps now in League of Legends. What is your most winning champion? Odoamne and Peach.
That's how solo queue works.
Playing theirs. Well, and now I would like to divert one thing from solo queue. This is the point at solo queue from watching your games where you go, oh yeah, I'm turbo fed, and then you throw. Okay, and that's no shame to you. No, that's a Lee-Sin limitation in late game.
You said my games.
Yeah. But like, you know, that's just a Lee-Sin thing I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
After 5 kills, I think you should start giving the kills to your allies. Personally, that said, instant engage, instant knockup, 1-2 punch here. Limit trying to make his way out, but the feathers fly. Doesn't even need to pull them back. Mad Lions finding 2 quick kills on the bottom side.
What a massive play from Mad Lions. They've just basically cracked open through bot and made a win condition for them available in this early game that they were losing. Peach can't really salvage this in the 1v3, sorry. But you're right, Peach is doing fantastic so far. The lanes aren't fixed though in that sense. Odoamne will win in isolation, but mid and bot are the same as they were since the get-go. So they're still vulnerable to ganks, and they still can't really contest and dominate those lanes. It's a case of wherever Peach is, EXCEL is hard winning. He was on Raptors as they went for that bot play, so wasn't able to match it in time. I feel like EXCEL needs to start warding these lane brushes. Patrik had full summoners, but Hex Flash stun into the wall. There's no real counterplay for him. Not running that cleanse. Kraken Slayer now for Carzzy with a crit cloak.
Is going to help. Xayah, of course, fantastic champion for crit scaling as it also boosts the damage on her E.
But to be honest, I would have also taken all the kills, you know?
Yeah, no, I know. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There's a certain point, like, now you're at the point where you're so turbo-fed as Hylissang that you don't believe that you ever fall off.
Nope.
But you always do.
You always do, but it's like in denial. That's how Hylissang players work. You're like, no, I don't fall off.
Like I earned this. No one will take it away from me.
Exactly.
I don't want to share.
He's going to finish his jungle item very soon. 2 away. Elyoya 7 away. Odoamne, he wins those. No flash on Chasy.
Yes, he does.
I think it's a solo kill, maybe. Elyoya's coming, though.
Okay. Odoamne just walks away now. Elyoya, can they finish this kill? A lot of base damages can come out, but Odo still has stopwatching. Rumble looking good. Rumble certainly looking good into the tank matchup. And again, we were concerned about the Ornn pick into a Rumble that has been adjusted to be stronger into tanks than he already was. And it seems like our concerns were justified as Odoamne 40 CS up, absolutely smashing in the 1v1.
Certainly is, so they're going to be able to capitalize on that, get a Herald. All of the gold leaders on this top jungle for EXCEL. Abbedagge gets basically even just a CC bots for his team. Does Patrik have to give up this bot power is my question. When Peach shows getting this objective, is Patrik going to be a little bit afraid and back off? He has a TP from Rumble to cover him, so maybe he feels confident enough to stay. Elyoya's running down. Got a lot of bot
in the area. With static, you should just one-shot the wave.
There's a TP ward behind him. Lots of pings coming out. You see those? I think they got the sweeper plant on them to be able to get rid of those in case there was a TP behind from Odoamne. So nice play there by Mad Lions. And yeah, I think they will have to just keep this up as much as Peach on the bot side. I think they're a bit scared of the Poppy. Actually, as I say that, they're going to recall. So no first tower just yet. It's actually nice for EXCEL that Odoamne is getting this massive lead in basic isolation. I think Jungle Sport spent like, what, 20 seconds up there to get the dive off?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little tiny bit of time, so we can't say 100% in isolation, but obviously dominating in the 1v1. And while you might expect it when you look at the champions, Odoamne pushing that even further, building an even bigger lead. And again, we'll see what it looks like once these towers start to fall and he actually gets out of lane. Ornn is always going to be relevant in a team fight just because of the amount of CC that he brings, but a good equalizer, even if it's not going to hit as hard or not going to be as available as often as it once was, is still impactful.
I'm really scared for EXCEL in this bot tier 1. They've now put their bot lane mid so that Abbedagge can cover that, and then Patrik can be the one covering them, but they have no vision. Look where Hyli is. He's right behind Patrik. Oh, he just walked out of the bush. Bit of a mistake there now. Question mark pings coming through. It's all about this mid wave now. Pushing this in and going towards bot. Who can cover bot? Can EXCEL get a little bit of vision down here? They don't really see anything.
Yeah. And again, if you're wondering why we continue to see static shift despite it being nerfed, it's still incredible wave clear. It's still very powerful as now AP Kai'Sa seems to be the option. Hylissang not going to get clipped by the sonic wave there. Odoamne clearing out top lane tower. Now he'll be free to pressure on that tier 2 or roam a bit more, expand. EXCEL has control of the top side of the map with their bot lane and mid. They can get a lot of work done here.
Oh, P or solo lanes. Almost the same gold lead as Peach when he has 5 kills.
And what is, I spent 4 years, people told me top lane doesn't do anything. What is this?
Top lane, the Rumble is OP, where's Riven? That was a counter to Rumble back in the days, wasn't it? Season 5, Season 6 or something when it was...
Maybe we see it.
Oh, what the hell?
But he hits it! Oh, the patience with Carzzy!
What the? Wait.
Oh, hit it. Keeps him going, hits him with it. I don't know if it's a good play, but it looks cool.
Here comes the Ornn ult.
Ornn ult downtown.
Peach
into the backside. Kick back through 3!
But nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Oh, there, something happened.
Equalizer! Oh, my God! Comedy of errors and beautiful plays at the same time. It's beautiful and ugly. It's horrifying and fantastic. And EXCEL come out on top.
It worked. It kind of worked. Semi-worked. 2 for 4? 2 for 4. Okay, so a lot happened there. It felt like everyone was kind of like lagging a little bit, but then it all worked eventually. Abbedagge flashed over the wall, didn't charm, but then Peach went in and didn't kick, but then he made an amazing kick, and then nothing happened, and then the Rumble ult happened, and then...
He tried to Wild West him, man. He said flash, he said draw. Like, he just hoping he would all...
stare down. Here it comes. He's like, Abbedagge walks out, this is it, isn't it? Just flash over the wall, and Carzzy will flash. Surprise. Okay, fine, I'll land it.
Okay.
And then he gets Jayce seen and dies.
Yeah.
And then it looks bad because Hyli's coming from the right, and then Chasy is coming from the top side. Big knock-up, but no follow-up. Odoamne is fighting the Ornn. And then you think, okay, Mad Lion's going to win this fight. Nisqy TP'd on the right side, big Ornn ult. But no, look at Peach. Goes in. When's he going to kick? Right now. And now it looks like, okay, great
terrible kick.
When's anything's going to happen? Insane kick.
Everybody dies.
And it's 4 kills, isn't it? Over to EXCEL. They get all of them. Yep. And then you think, perfect, 4 for 1. And then Nisqy slams in the end.
Yeah.
So it was...
And then Chasy.
Yeah, a lot happened there.
Okay, meanwhile, in real life, sorry, in real time, Nisqy just gets almost entirely one-shot by Odo. Again, the top side of EXCEL doing work. Look at those damage numbers.
Odo, he's 1 versus 3. He's got a jungler right behind him, though. But look how much damage he's doing. He's just
screenshot this when you play top lane. Send it to your jungler and say, this could be us, but you playing.
But you playing. You gotta be playing Rumble.
Yeah,
3K gold up.
Okay, Peach feeling himself a little too much there as he just gets knocked into the wall.
No, he wins those.
This is a 5K lead for EXCEL. We wanted to know what the trajectory of EXCEL was going to look like, and they're to the moon, baby.
Bro, I'm just watching Rumble Lee Sin just 2v5 this game. I mean, Abbedagge baited him in. Patrik and Limit are doing their best.
Sure, bro, but that's just a charitable interpretation.
That kick flash was nuts into the Rumble. That's just almost won them the game. There's the second dragon. We fight those mid waves. I think in Europe.
Yeah, and Peach lives in this jungle now. It belongs to him. Okay, EXCEL. Gonna grab their second Drake of the game. Chemtech Soul again. Not super ideal, but they are monsters in these fights.
It's one of those things where, you know, there's a lot of peel for the carries of Mad Lions when it comes to like Rakan Poppy, but sometimes skill just overcomes everything, you know? Clutch moments, good plays,
giant
plays,
insurmountable
really
gold leads.
You can look at theory, you can look at like possible outcomes and how difficult it is.
Yeah.
But you click better, you kick better. That's a Lee Sin slogan right there.
Okay, right there. Put it on a lower third. You click better, you kick better.
That's Lee Sin for you in a nutshell.
All right, they just have to keep this momentum going. A lot of times when a team is this far ahead with a composition that is as mid-game focused, we talk about scaling. We talk about, hey, how many items does Mad need before this starts to look better? But to be honest, they're very, very, very far behind at this point. They need to find picks. It's going to take some time. We'll let you know when they get there, but it's going to be a bit.
It is, but they can still contest mid-waves, kind of. You can see Carzzy's up a level on Patrik, who's getting close to that level 12. He's building towards his second item. He needs that Navori, Carzzy.
Yeah.
Feels like Mad needs to slow it down. You know, wait for a Cyrildes, wait for a Navori, and then hopefully start fighting. Because EXCEL have not got that much front line, but they've got so much damage. So survivability won't really matter. You're going to get one shot no matter what. It may as well have as much damage as possible to fight back. Here comes a Baron start.
Flip, stun, slow down. Zooming out to safety there with the new Rell E. No more tethering to your allies. Yeah, but important. Peach has a giant bag of gold on him. Whoever kills him gets the giant bag of gold. And that is one easy way for Mad Lions to find themselves
It's like King of the Hill.
back into this game.
Except
yeah.
with a gold bag.
Yeah.
King of the bag of gold?
King of the bag.
Yeah, King of the bag. Well, yeah, he's really far ahead. And
Sounds like a very bad rap song.
it does. And the thing that I was going to say is, Abbedagge's items, he ain't doing damage.
Nope.
Lucidity Boots, Everfrost. My man's building Zhonya's. That Dark Seal, he's got no seals, but he's got a Charm and a Root. So if he can set up for Peach, and Patrik can try and do a little bit of backline damage, it's Odoamne and Peach who's just going to run over these fights. Similar game T1 had. Xayah was playing Rumble recently on the newer Rumble on 13-12, and he was very fed, but he got one shot very quickly. You know, a Rakan Xayah with a Poppy sign to a wall, that Rumble's dead.
There's a tiny bit of health in your itemization, but otherwise you're just not. You're not building anything remotely defensive, as you see on the side. Peach and Odoamne fighting for who can be the richest member.
Can you bring that gold graphic back up?
Yeah, you want to see it one more time?
Yeah.
For the people.
Hold that for a sec though, because Hilly might be in trouble. Yeah, Chasy's broke, but he's Ornn. He's got his item,
Damn,
Radiant Virtue.
Chasy is broke.
He is, right. But he's got his Radiant Virtue and Abyssal, so... Actually, is that Abyssal really doing anything?
I don't know,
dude. Like gives your team bonus magic damage, right? But yes.
It's tough.
You know?
Yeah, it was for the lane, but the lane did not get better.
Yeah.
My man's so broke, he's Googling free things to do in Berlin. He's trying to figure it out.
Easy ways to make money.
Is Trap Tower Park free? Is there an entry fee? Where can I go? Is the spawn free?
Yeah, Abyssal Mask reduces magic resist, but he doesn't really have any magic damage on his team.
Yeah, I think, again, helps him against the Rumble. It's a much cheaper item than it used to be, even if it doesn't build out a Catalyst, which would have been a nice item to have in lane.
Yeah.
That said, overall, it doesn't really help anybody.
Oh,
Carzzy caught out. Forcing the flash out early. Chasy now zooming out to safety. Fighting in the show could be bad, though. Here comes the Ornn ultimate. That's going to be big. The CC, the shutdown. Nisqy getting a big old bag of gold. Wanting to keep this fight going. Peach on the side, burning down. Mad Lions, excellent execution thus far. Nisqy desperate to get more kills. That's the double for the Jayce.
Yeah, that's it. I told you the Rumble is really squishy. You can die so quickly. One stun, you're gone. You do so much damage, and you got the Carzzy flash, but you go too deep, and you get CC'd. It's lights out. So Mad Lions in a 5v3. Do they fence himself? Patrik could get the kill here.
Going in on the Carzzy. Carzzy going up. No mana left for Patrik, forcing him to flash out.
If he had mana there, he could look for
Overconfident for Patrik. Elyoya flash stun. Not quite going to hit the wall.
Oh, it's so close, isn't it, Patrik? If he fell there, they'd lose Nash probably, but Odoamne has TP in 10. They have to get out of here now, Mad Lions, because wards on their top side jungle. No summoners, no ults, no nothing. And they're gone. So,
Mad Lions found the angle.
Yeah, but the shutdown went to the Jayce, which is
good. And it wasn't the big shutdown. It wasn't the Lee Sin shutdown. I think it's only 150 or 300.
But the Rumble must have been 100%.
No, I think it's like 300.
Nah, he had the same.
Let's find
300?
out. I think it's the bonus 300, not just 300.
So you think he's getting 600 gold here?
I think he's 600.
I'm saying 1K. 450.
450?
Wait, he was 150 gold shutdown?
What?
What? There's no way that Rumble was 150 gold
You don't
shutdown.
understand. Ornn looked at a creep wrong, and it just lowered the bounty.
He's 4K gold up. What?
Bounties do bounty things, man. You don't get to pick the price on his head. That's not up to you.
No. Nisqy got scammed in that bounty contract. That's what I'm
Absolutely
saying.
scammed. They said it's the robot we're scared of. The guy inside we actually are not worried about.
Okay, well, now eyes on the Lee Sin. See if Peach dives too deep.
Yep.
He's still very far ahead. He's building Guardian Angel, which makes a lot of sense. They're going to get their soul point here, EXCEL. TP coming in from the Jayce, level 16 here. Very powerful Nisqy with that Cyril that's now 3 items strong. Can get some poke down. Will do a lot of damage if it lands.
If it lands, of course, the key there. As just highlighted, that's third Drake going down. Soul point for EXCEL. Something for them to fight around. Mad Lions just trying to bully down this mid lane tier 1. Odoamne can ult to try to clear the way, but it will not stop the tower from falling.
Yeah. So, power for Dragon. Poke damage is coming out slowly, though. Peach has the GA. And it's all about a Baron Vision contest here. Mad Lion's going to set up a little bit, but that's going to get swept out as soon as EXCEL come out of base. Of course, limits recalling. Oh no, it was just Abbedagge actually. He has the TP. But there's no wards on limit. I'm looking at the inventory here. He has no wards in his inventory, and they don't have any vision here. So I feel like the Rell needs to take a reset. Otherwise, what are they really getting? They're sweeping out, but they can't really put their own vision down. Maybe they were scared of Mad Lions looking for a Baron themselves. So EXCEL will have to take around a minute's time before they can set up.
Slowing down the game. And as we highlighted, this favors Mad Lions. You saw already in the previous fight the sheer quantity of CC this team has does mean that whatever gold lead you're stacking on a Lee Sin or in a Rumble, as long as you can delete one of those characters at the start of the fight from the perspective of Mad Lions, you're doing fine. Abbedagge, very much utility focused, still waiting for that third item from Patrik. Here we are.
Here we are. TPs are up on both top laners. Chasy can just kind of wait for the waves to come in. The Kai'Sa really needs Guinsos. I don't think he has his Q upgrade, Patrik, still.
Yep.
Once he gets that, then with the Guinsos, he will be able to burn through this Baron. So I think EXCEL, as much as they're ahead, they're slowing down for the Kai'Sa 3-item spike. But it's giving time for Mad Lions, and their teamfight comp is really strong. They have a lot of chain CC and decent poke.
I mean, the 3-item Jayce is really going to start to hit here. Peach, potentially. Fine for now, has enough mobility, won't get caught out. Will not fumble the bag. Will not give the bag over. Don't knock into the wall. Oh, Caster Carzzy fumbled the bag!
Drakos, this is your fault!
Has been fumbled! No, he's escaped. The bag is fine. We're not. It's Elyoya.
We're good.
Holding up around the area.
God,
Patrik getting chunked out.
So, yeah, they need Kai'Sa third item. EXCEL are stalling. They really need to wait for Patrik to get Guinsos. Here comes the Force.
Or an ultimate. Odoamne flashing out to safety. Knockback gonna go completely wide. Nice charm to stop Elyoya from following up with Mad Lions. Control the pit area, and another time the Shock Blast hits. I've cast this game for 8 years, and I'm never not surprised by how much damage that ability does.
Here comes the base from Patrik. He's basing for the health, basing for that third item, hopefully for EXCEL, because they really need to stop pushing forwards, because Mad Lions realize they're playing safe. They're giving up so much space that they can start to fish for engages here, and they don't have it still. So EXCEL they've lost the Guardian Angel on the Lee Sin. They've lost the flash on Odoamne. They're getting pushed to their tier 2. They're stalling so much for this item, but I think they're just gonna have to go.
Mid off to the side, big engage. Abbedagge now trying to follow, but Carzzy goes into the air. The stun's still coming through, though. Patrik now leaping in the fall damage there. Carzzy still standing for just a second too long, but it does not matter. Abbedagge looking to clean house. He's gonna aim for 1, he's gonna aim for 2, looking to get 3, but Peach and Patrik will round it out. Incredible fight from EXCEL.
What a fight. 5 for 1. Everything layered on top of Mad Lions there. Only Nisqy able to flash. Everyone else has summoners up. Is that it? 40 seconds on the respawn for Nisqy. 30 on Carzzy. The waves there. I think they might be able to end the game here.
Just need to close it out. Rumble and Lee Sin. Rumble, especially the damage in that last fight from Odoamne.
Alien 5.
And just what an incredible turn for EXCEL. Already kicking things off with a win. From third in the ranking, from 10th to third now. To showing up here in game 1 clutch. Hylissang caught out, and Peach, he's not fumbling the bag, he's not fumbling anything. Snowballing this team to victory alongside Odoamne in game 1.
Such a surprising ending, it isn't it? It felt like Mad Lions had some space to work with, but they just went way too far, and then EXCEL just clutched out a fight and mid and the game's over all of a sudden. Blink of an eye, they were stalling, but if you give them a good fight, they'll take it. What a game by Peach. Incredible performance on that Lee Sin. Odoamne on the Rumble as well. I think if I'm Mad Lions and I'm going backstage here, Rumble is a big problem. Need to take that away or ban it or pick it yourselves, because I feel like that champion is just so oppressive.
And I just want to, again, call out the fact that I'm just impressed by the development of EXCEL. We got used to seeing kind of double carries, the Xayah, more about the Maokais in the jungle, Xayah, Azir,
Yep.
mid-bot being the reason they're winning so many of their games. And this game was top jungle. You said it, like
It was, yeah.
essentially 2v5ing the entire game. And there were great moments from Abbedagge, good engages from Limit. Of course, everyone had their time, but ultimately, that was Lee Sin and Rumble just about all the way.
Yeah, it was. And Patrik was doing damage in fights, didn't get to that break point. The Rell was set up, the Ahri was set up, Abbedagge gets the resets and keeps them coming. So good game from EXCEL so far. 1 win away from taking the first best of 3 here.
Yeah, and reminder, if you win both of your best of 3s, you're already secured in top 4 in this split, which is big. Enough for many teams in terms of points. For EXCEL, they need to go a little bit further than that. But
Yep.
what a fantastic turnaround that would be from the least possible points to topping the league. But for now, just a single game. We'll have to see how far EXCEL can take it as we send it over to the analyst desk.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great game on this side of EXCEL, and it was a great game that we decided to play together today. Was it really together, though? Because winning after game 1 felt kind of easy, honestly.
Yeah, make it all about you.
Yeah.
Let's not make it about EXCEL, just winning the game. No, great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Your LCK strats just come in. I feel like it's an unfair advantage.
I mean, I
She
said...
just is ready for the patch before us.
Yeah, I told you that I was bringing back the strats. It was kind of a glimpse here that we'll see later. But I want us to talk about the meta and the draft, actually, that both teams... Thank you. That both teams played this game because...
I love that it comes in when you're trying to move on.
I know. Great timing. Thanks, production. Because, yeah, as we were saying before, you don't know, even though teams got like a 2-week break, you don't know how quickly they're going to adapt onto the patch and find their groove and how quickly they can find it. Here, for me, this is exactly the kind of champions that I want to see on this patch.
Champions you want to see, but from EXCEL, like, talk about adapting in 2 weeks. This team completely switched it up. So, like, when I saw this draft, I'm like, okay, wrap it up. Yeah, they got some, like, the power picks. The first rotation was just insane with Kai'Sa, Rell, and Rumble. But then seeing the Lee Sin Ahri come online, that was like a duo or like the Ahri VoD that EXCEL were doing all year long, and it was never working for them. So I had massive doubts initially, but I mean, the Lee Sin, it paid off.
Yeah, I think it's impressive to see how they've adapted now in these 2 weeks, because it's not only them moving away from this late game teamfighting style, it's also them being comfortable and taking charge in the game and really trying to get the game somewhere. I think it speaks so much to how they've improved in these 2 weeks and how confident they are in themselves to actually be able to pull this off.
And I think when it comes to like interesting layers in the draft here is the presence of Azir, because Azir was something that was so there for EXCEL in the last few weeks. Like, Abbedagge is always going for it. And Mad Lions even left it open. Like, the fact that it was open in the first place sort of surprised me. The fact that EXCEL didn't see the prio on it in those first 3 picks just shows you that they are fully aware of how they want to play on the patch. Like, maybe there's a world where it does come in if it doesn't get banned in the second phase. But EXCEL decided to sort of give up on the late game team fighting and go very hard for mid game team fighting, right? The Rumble plus the Rell is a fantastic combo to sort of pull everyone together inside of the burn zone, and they have the sort of mid jungle fighting to get them to that point.
And it's a risky approach, though, when you think about it, because Rell and Lee Sin are the kind of champions that if they fall behind, it's going to be hard to recover, especially playing against the scaling that the Mad Lions had here. But everything went well for them, and we've been talking about this Lee Sin. You need to find the skirmishes in the early game, and here Pitch did an amazing job, I feel.
Yeah, I think they, as I mentioned earlier, they did a good job actually trying to contest early. Normally from EXCEL we see that they just sort of farm the game out and nothing really happens, but you had a fight before this one and this fight as well where they were looking to actually contest the Mad Lions, and here it feels like Peach sort of just goes off. His entire team is actually backing off, but he's not backing off. He saw this play a mile away and pulled it off almost to perfection in his execution as well.
Look, if Carzzy doesn't like insta-snap cast that ultimate, that knock-up from the kick is also hitting him, so you've just instantly gotten that kill. So 7-0-8, yeah, I am a fan. This has been a new Peach. I feel like Peach, while he's been like solid on picks like the Maokai, this is a guy that hasn't been super present in the early game for the team. He's been team fighting well, controlling space for his backline very nicely. This was a different look of him diving in, doing it all on his own, and just straight up dominating the game between him and Odoamne.
This is what confident Pitch looks like, because I remember this guy at EMEA Masters. Lee Sin is actually his most played champion in his entire career, so I'm glad that he got the chance to flex it today.
And on top of this, I believe that Peach just had the best early game, the highest gold of any player. second highest. He was down 21 gold to any player here in Summer, which is just crazy how much he was getting done.
And we saw Mad Lions try the bot lane approach, and I think this is where EXCEL was put in difficulties here, Reckless. And we've been talking about how this patch was going to be benefiting Mad Lions, especially when it comes to Hylissang playing these engaged champions. It was not quite enough, though, for them pushing onto the bot lane.
Yeah, I would say the story of this game was very much Hyli, Carzzy, and Nisqy having a good game, and Odoamne and Peach having a good game. They were sort of splitting the map as to who was having the advantages, and Hyli had a really good game. I really want to say that. I think he had so many engages that stood out to me. One, maybe that was a moment too early in the mid lane, which is actually going to be this fight that's coming right now, if I'm not mistaken, where he goes a little bit too early, because the engage is amazing, but it's happening too quickly. And he had a few more this game that was just keeping Mad Lions in the game. And I want to give credit to them, because I think when Odo is having such a good game and Peach having such a good game, it's hard to keep yourself in the game. And this was so much of Hyli's work.
Peach is just behind enemy lines, right? 4 versus 5, they lost their mid laner, but Peach sort of saw that angle. Then Odo can layer in the ult too. It felt like even though Mad Lions had the numbers advantage, because their engage was sort of so staggered with their solo laners not quite being there, the fact that Peach saw that angle to go for the fight, even down, gave them a legitimate chance. That fight itself ended up being pretty close, but you can see how quickly I think it's two compositions sort of stylistically like this can turn in a fight. All it takes is one catch onto the right player, one player overstepping, and that becomes like a very knife's edge style of League of Legends. And if EXCEL can thrive in that environment against Mad Lions, we need to start reevaluating this team, because it's one thing to, you know, do very well during the best of ones playing scaling team fight. It's like, okay, cool, you made it here to group stage. Do you see longevity in that? I didn't really, but if they can play this style and if they perfected it coming in with a 2-week break, this team can do some serious damage.
We can take a look at the last fight, actually, that won them the game, because it felt like it came suddenly, and all of a sudden the game was over. And as we said, guys, this comes down to execution, and especially in a competition like this.
The engage between Limit and the Rumble. People talk about the Hylissang patch, but let's not forget Limit on these engaged boards. This is also an environment he can thrive in, sort of finding those angles with the flank options coming in with the Lee Sin and the Ahri. That was just all him. I think a lot of the game had been about Peach finding those angles, so it was really nice to see Limit find his moment.
Now, moving on to game 2, Mad Lions picked blue side here. Reckless, what kind of adaptation do you want to see on the side of Mad Lions, whether it's in draft or how they approach the game?
I would like to see them play more like EXCEL, to be honest with you. Because when I think about this patch, I think what EXCEL built here, I think fighting at all times, everyone being able to go in, go out, but Mad Lions built a scaling composition with AD carry being the focal point and top being weak side, and that's just not mad for me. I want them to play more like EXCEL, actually, because I think this crazy game is good for them.
A surprising version of EXCEL that we saw here during this first game. We'll see if Mad Lions can come back, as they have 2 more games to do so. Time for us to toss it to break. We'll come back right after.
It's a fish for the charm. Peach, the potential here for the play, kicks into the wall, the feathers fly, but he still finds one. He wants one more. Carzzy, flashback, sending flash in, the triple, baby! Peach popping off here on the Lee Sin, 3 kills now. Cheer hours. Personally, that said, instant engage, instant knockup, 1-2 punch here. Limit trying to make his way out, but the feathers fly.
No some Xayah, nothing Xayah.
I can ult soon.
Yeah, I can send you up.
I ult. Look at this.
Xayah, nothing.
I can go. Keep going.
Popping on flash, I'm taking.
Kill on. Careful Jayce damage,
I'm taking.
I'm tanking. Okay, back off.
Get tower.
Nice. Holy shit.